Hello traders, welcome to the Wednesday trade recap and the forecast. So I had a really nice trade on the euro and US dollar. So finally the markets have shifted. We have gotten into a trending period. The range bound period looks to be over or looks to be at a pause. So we will see if we will continue to get some setups. But for now, let's discuss this euro US dollar trade. So we were patient for a really long time, and of course patience always pays off. Let's analyze the trade. So basically what happened in the price action, it was looking really ascending. So it was moving in this ascending channel, and then I was either waiting for a reversal or I was waiting for an impulse to the upside, which we then of course got. We got this break of the most recent high with some really strong momentum. So this was a really nice strong impulse right here. We always look how the impulse ends. You can see the wick is not that big when you compare it. I mean, for me it's not really a concern, but even if it was a concern, we did get a range afterwards. So then the flag formed. So the flag formation formed right here, broke the flag low, and then the first blue candle is the entry candle. So let's analyze the flag formation. Basically, first high, first low, second high, second low. And of course, this nice strong blue candle confirms the strength in the flag, confirms the momentum shift to the upside or the momentum continuing to the upside. And you can see, just compare the size of all of these candles. They're so small. So when you see this sort of a flag on the euro and US dollar, it is super high probability. It's a really good setup to take on this pair. Most of them work out and most of them bring some really good percentage. So even if this wick was a bit of a concern, we then got this nice flat range with no momentum shift. What I really liked is just the size of the candles. So really small candles when you compare it to the size of the impulse candles, which is a really good sign price will continue trending up. I then bought in with the market execution, 12 pip stop loss as usual. No opportunity to reduce risk on this one, but I don't care. To be honest, even on a Tuesday, this whole setup right here is so high probability on this particular pair that it is worth taking in any sort of day and with any sort of size of the entry candle. To be honest, it just works. So then price went up, broke the high, and then I managed to reduce or put my risk into profit around here underneath this low, and I got taken out for around 4.3% winner. So a really nice trade. And now we're kind of pausing. I mean, it's stuck in this sort of a flat range again. Let's see if this will continue trending up. So there is potential for this uptrend to continue. You can see how the pair moves. So basically push up, nice strong push, pull back, nice strong push, pull back. Possibly, if we continue, I will look to buy, of course, because that is how the pair moves. So strong impulses and wide flat pullbacks. So if we get another strong impulse, I will look for either a flag or I will look for a break and the retest trade such as this one. We will see what will happen. I'm looking for more momentum here, looking for more blue candles. Of course, this can start to ascend, in which case I will look for a reversal setup such as this one to sell to the downside, and price can just drop down, in which case I will look for a large impulse, and I mean a large impulse to move away from this price and to sell. Another possibility is we can just range around, in which case I'm doing absolutely nothing because I am a trend trader. Okay, moving on. So Euro Japanese yen, we had a really good formation and I really thought we were gonna see some setups on this particular pair. So let me bring this back. Prior price action heavily range bound right here. But then a really good formation that I saw was right here. V reversal, range, and a push to the upside. This is super high probability in most cases to continue trending to the upside, and I was looking for a setup here either for my flag or for the break and day retest. Any sort of setup would have been okay because the prior price action was super high probability to continue trending up. it wasn't coming from an uptrend, but it was coming from this high probability pattern. So there is a difference between power price action being in a high probability pattern but in a range, or price coming from a large uptrend such as this sort of price action. So there is a difference, and you can tolerate different warning signs on different cases, but it's of course something to backtest. So I do distinguish between high probability patterns and super long established trend or trending price action, and I do adjust my warning signs, what I can tolerate, what I cannot tolerate, according to the per price action. So I distinguished three types: range bound price action, V reversal range, which means high probability pattern price action, and the final one is super strong trend, so trending price action. So three types of price action, and all of them have different characteristics and different sort of, I would say, tolerances and patterns, what I can take. So this one unfortunately is now pausing. We have gotten this strong red candle, which means we have gotten a momentum shift right here. So I'm expecting more of a range. What I would like to see, the price continue. So because of this, I'm expecting the price to continue trending up. If that's the case, I'll look for a flag or a break and retest further up. If we start to ascend, same thing as EU, I will look for a reversal. Or if it drops from this point like this, I will look to sell either on a flag or a break and they retest, but I need a large impulse to the downside in that particular scenario. Aussie dollar, no setups for me here. Wasn't looking for anything. To be honest, on the larger scale, it's looking range bound, very range bound, but I'm also seeing a big V reversal and a range. I mean, it's not that clean, it's not something I would rely on, but possibly this could trend to the upside. Again, I wouldn't put much emphasis on this sort of a pattern because it's too big. Basically, it's too big. This V is just not well defined and it's too big, but I can see a V in a range. So if it continues, I will just look to buy, but to be honest, I'm just looking for a large impulse up or a large impulse down because it's more range bound than showing me a nice high probability pattern. So yeah, I'm just looking for the price to move away to the upside, or of course move away to the downside, give me a flag or a break and they retest. That's it for AU. It's really slow, it's asleep. I ain't looking for no setups here. AJ, let's take a look. AJ flat, very flat basically. Let me just print this back. AJ is very flat and I'm just waiting for the same thing as on the Aussie US dollar. I'm waiting for a breakout to the upside or to the downside. You can see no real movement anywhere. I didn't have an Oron anywhere in this price action. I can't read anything in this price action either. So yeah, I'm just waiting for that large push up or a large push down, and then of course an entry pattern. So we can move on. I mean, these range bound pairs are showing me no potential and are showing me nothing of interest. I can't even take any lessons from them because when we are in a range, I just don't do anything. I monitor the markets, but I just wait for a breakout to the upside or to the downside. Then we have GU. On GU, there was an opportunity to buy actually. So let's take a look. What did we have in the prior price action? For me, I classified this prior price action as trending. So for me, this was trending. We have a push up, pull back, push up, pull back, push up, pull back, and we continue. So it's not really a nice clean trend, but it's definitely moving up. It's not ascending to me. So I am looking to buy here, especially after this sort of a pattern where we get a large impulse up, small pullback, one candle, blue pullback, and the price continues. So this is textbook high probability pattern, large impulse, then continuation. So large impulse, small pullback, and continuation, 3 parts. This is the high probability pattern on the pound. This is kind of the only pattern I trade, to be honest. But I just did not like how we broke the high, wick, wick, and another wick. So basically on the lower time frames, this may be interpreted as an ascending structure because we are just breaking and leaving wicks. So this is kind of looking ascending to me on the lower time frames. Again, I don't look at the lower time frames, but on the 1 hour, I can read what is happening on the lower time frames because we're just breaking, struggling, breaking, struggling, breaking, struggling, leaving wicks, selling pressure. So at this point I was not happy to take this trade either on a flag or on a break and retest of this inside bar. And then what happened? Well, a flag actually formed. To be honest, it was a really high probability flag. The reason was it was so small. So usually these small types of flags work really, really good. Usually they all work out. I mean, like 70-80% win rate on most of the pairs. But again, price action is important, and it was Monday. So on a Monday, I'm kind of expecting more of a range. I'm being more careful with the setups. I want to see super high probability setups, which this was not super high probability for the reasons just mentioned. So this part was the only thing that was wrong with the trade. But on a Monday, it was enough for me to stay out. And as you can see, it would have been a 1% loss, even on a break and retest, because the price did push down heavily. So I did manage to avoid a 1% loss, which is always good. Followed my plan right there. And now I'm seeing a bit of a push up. So we then broke the low, retrace, broke the low, got some momentum, but then double wicks, aggressive retrace, and now we broke the high and continued with momentum. So in this area, I'm looking for potentially a flag or potentially something like this, pullback, break and retest. Potentially this can happen and I would be interested. Why? Well, because I'm seeing a okay break. It's nothing to write home about, but I do see some momentum here. If we get just a one candle pullback and it's blue, and then we continue with a nice strong clean close, something like this, with a nice strong impulse, then that does fit my plan. We will see what will happen. Here, this can be interpreted as sort of a V and a range, but I would not bet my money on it, because a V is usually when you get an impulse down and then another impulse that goes almost all the way back to the upside. And this went not even halfway. You can see it ended here. So this I would not really classify as a V reversal. What I classify as a V reversal is on our EJ. Right here, let me show you. So for me, this is a, if it will just load, this is a V. See, started here, went almost all the way to the top. Clear V. Okay, let's now move on to our final pair, which is NJ, range bound. I ain't seeing anything here. Stuck in range, no setups for me. I mean, this is just not good price action. We are breaking the lows, retracing, broke the low again, retrace, broke the high, retrace, broke the high, retrace, broke the high, showing a bit of weakness. So to be honest, I'm just looking for a large impulse up, possibly for this to create a large impulse, then a flag or a break and retest, or I'm looking for a large impulse down, flag or break and they retest. And I mean a large impulse. So nothing interesting on this pair. What is currently on my radar are the dollar pairs. So the pound has some potential. We will see how it will develop. That's it for the trade recap and forecast. So patience paid off. We got a nice winning trade. Textbook no-brainer for me, 10 out of 10, and really happy about it. I will see you guys in the next video, and good luck with your trading. Keep following the plan. The market conditions have shifted, which is of course a good sign, but we cannot let FOMO get in the way. So keep following that plan.